Arcade1Up has just released this enormous Space Invaders arcade cabinet, but at $200, could it possibly be worth the money? We're gonna find out right now.
Don't you know that you're a grown-up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown-up.
Hey, hello and welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John. I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for checking out this video and hopefully the rest of the channel. Recently, I've had a great time collecting these tabletop arcade machines from companies like My Arcade and Basic Fun, and something that has come up again and again in my reviews of these is my disappointment that these are not genuine arcade ROMs to recreate perfectly the experience that I'm looking for when I'm collecting these machines. So you can imagine my delight when I saw that Arcade1Up, the company that makes those 3/4 scale arcade machines that you can buy in pretty much Walmart and anywhere else that you go, was slated to start putting out a new line of tabletop machines using those same original arcade ROMs that they use in the Arcade1Up cabinets. The entire Arcade1Up line is pretty much laser focused into a key demographic that I fall squarely in the middle of. I'm a Generation Xer, I grew up loving those original arcade machines, loving playing the games in arcades, and I'm old enough now and far enough into my life that I have a job and a little disposable income that I can afford to spend to relive said nostalgic experiences. Surprisingly though, those 3/4 scale arcade cabinets were not something I was ever interested in. I have a real full-size arcade cabinet behind me, so buying more little cabinets that do fewer things felt like an exercise in drudgery. Why would I get more of something smaller and worse when I have something better already? But the premise of that Arcade1Up approach, using original ROMs and a new smaller form factor, that spoke to me. So despite the price, which is really up there, 199 bucks, I ordered one right away. I had to see it. Why am I not holding it? It's bigger than I thought it was. Just a second. Okay, so this is the Cabinetcade tabletop arcade machine from 1UP. I see now why it was 200 bucks. I knew it was 18.5 inches, but still, I didn't expect that I was signing up for something this massive. I'm not disappointed. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm excited to have it, and I'm gonna set it down because my arms are getting tired. Okay, there are a lot of things about this that I'm excited about, and there are some that give me pause. So I'm gonna open this right here live. We're gonna take a look at it, look at the playthrough, see if it lives up to that high $200 price point or not. See if maybe it's worth your money, this one or one of the other ones they have. Before we do, I will just quickly ask if this is your first time watching GenXGrownUp. You see that little graphic that lifts? See the subscribe button in the corner? Give that a click, maybe enable those notifications with that bell. Make it easy to find and watch way more of our Gen X themed content. This box is kind of unforgiving, but I mean, it's got to protect it. It's got a lot of foam packed in the top, taped up everywhere, and has this giant plastic screen on the front. There's no demo mode when it's in the store, so there's no need to have consumers be able to reach in and push the buttons and feel kind of what the buttons are like or anything. Ugh. The first thing I've got to acknowledge out of the gate is that the side art on this cabinet is gorgeous. It's right, the colors are vibrant, and it looks like a Space Invaders cabinet should look. Similarly, the control panel also looks and feels quite nice. Not quite like top-of-the-line Sanwa or Hap controls. It's the same controls that you're going to find in the other Arcade1Up cabinets, but they feel good. They have a little clicky response. As you know, though, looks are everything. It's going to boil down to the game experience. Power this on. Okay. It's Arcade1Up. It's loud, I'll give it that. Sounds good. I have the volume at the plus level here. There's also a lower level. We're going to leave it up so we can hear it well. All right, let's do the original. Instructions. Yep. Left, right, fire, player start. Okay. The player 1 also puts a coin in. All right. Yep. That is Space Invaders. 100% accurate. I cut my teeth playing Space Invaders. This was the game. So much about this is the correct experience. The controls are right. I seem to remember that early Space Invaders actually had a left and right button instead of a joystick. But later ones had a joystick, I seem to recall, so that's fine. Take that, spaceship! The key to Space Invaders, if you don't already know, is don't take out rows, take out columns. If you take out rows, the aliens can come down much, much faster. Just kind of hang on the periphery and take out the columns as they come by. And that'll leave them very high up as they get faster. I'm a little disappointed in the size of the screen. I mean, this is one savory piece of technology, and yet they put this beautiful experience in this tiny little stamp on the screen. All right, so let's go look at the other offering here, which is Space Invaders Color, which I think is going to be just Space Invaders, but with the color banding in it. We'll see. Yeah, so typically Space Invaders there was never a game called Space Invaders Color, but later they did add some color stripes, kind of transparency overlays on top of the screen. Yeah, if you watch how the bullet changes color as they go up and down through that banding of color. You see there's 2 rows of green aliens, 2 rows of blue, 1 row of purple right now. When they move down, they should shift and follow those colors. Let's see if they do. And they do! Great! This is not a different Space Invaders. This is actually an identical game of Space Invaders. They're just representing the later version where they added the color cellophane striping. So as the white image shone through that cellophane, it gave the illusion of color. Boom, alien! UFO jerk. Let's finish this rack at least. I think we have a really good understanding of what 1UP has to offer in this cabinet. Let's finish him off. Whoop, whoop. Got him. To further make my point here, so let me compare the screen to a single dollar bill. Look, that little 8-inch diagonal screen is, look at all the bezel. Like I can fit a bill all the way around it, all the way to the side, the bottom. You could have easily put, what is that, a 12 or 14-inch screen and really maximize the experience for what otherwise is a beautiful piece of hardware. So let's boil it all down. What do you have at the end of the day when it's all said and done? Well, see how long I can hold this up like this monster. Gosh. So it's beautiful artwork, phenomenal artwork, looks fantastic. Original arcade ROM, really nice controls, AC powered, no battery backup. Yeah, that's all right, that's okay. So there are a few construction flaws. There's some pictures I'll show you where the vinyl is either cracked or peeling or is not quite applied as nicely or evenly as you would like. And these may be nitpicks, but at this price point, at 200 bucks, someone who wants this arcade experience is gonna want a premium piece of gear. Look, if it's 30, 50, 100 bucks even, you're like, okay, but at $200 to play Space Invaders for heaven's sake, you want to have a premium kind of display piece that you can have. So that manufacturing kind of defects, tweak stuff, I have to count that against it. And then there is the screen. I mean, look at it. You can see it's tiny. Look at how big, look how big this area is, like I was showing you, with that tiny screen. Having this $200 Space Invaders with that size screen is reprehensible. There's no reason for that. You know, it's like I want to buy a Ferrari and it's top of the line and it's $1 million Ferrari and I'm gonna put like grocery cart wheels on it. I mean, that's the part, literally where the rubber meets the road. That's where the performance comes into play. When I'm playing the proper Space Invaders and it looks like this and it's this nice and feels that good, I don't want to play it on a little phone-sized screen. So I've got to put this down. I'm sorry. Ugh. Okay, all of that taken into account, let's boil this down to a rating. We said we're going to look at it, we said we're going to play it and review it. Gameplay, fantastic, but look at those little flaws, and look at that huge oversight in terms of that screen. You've got to invest more of that money into the display. So the best I can do for this Space Invaders Arcade1Up Cabinet-cade is 2 tokens out of 5. There's so much potential here, and they came so close. When these ultimately hit that $99 price point, that's when it makes sense to pick this up. Whether to play it as it is, or frankly to use it as a platform to build out, put a Raspberry Pi in it, or expand it to play other games, put a bigger monitor, whatever it may be. I sincerely hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. GenXGrownUp is dedicated to bringing you new Generation X inspired videos every week. Here are a couple more you can watch right now, but for even more, subscribe and enable those notifications. And if you love what we do, we invite you to support us over on Patreon. And of course, your feedback in the comments and a quick thumbs up are always appreciated.